I wasn't part of ICE. But once I put that out there and you put a little blurb on your show, it went crazy. So now I've spoken with some officials over at ICE, and I will be sworn in as an ICE agent ASAP.
Superman was literally an undocumented immigrant. And Dean Cain, now you've switched sides. You're gonna get that ICE badge, make some money, because probably you weren't making any money. You said it yourself. You were owed a lot of residuals, and you were told not to bite the hand that feeds you. Don't go after the corporate power that's been stealing from actors, from writers, because you know what? You don't want to upset anybody, but you will go after families, people who are trying to make a better life in America, who are working, but you're gonna go after them. Superman represents truth, justice, and a better tomorrow. You should do better, Dean.
Boy. So, once again, we got to talk about liberals being upset with a celebrity that they feel like doesn't align with their political beliefs. They spent the last week and a half boo-hoo-whining, crying about Sydney Sweeney, and now they're crying about Dean Cain, the former Superman actor who has come out and said that he's joining forces with ICE, right? That he is signing up to be an ICE officer. Now, I think that this is a very patriotic thing to do, okay? I think that it is pretty cool for an actor to come out and say that he wants to join federal law enforcement. In a normal world, this is something that we should be celebrating, okay? We should be saying, hey, this is a great example to be setting because we need a lot of ICE agents, right? We need these officers to help us with the mass deportations. And with the passing of the big, beautiful bill, there is a whole lot of money now going around in order to hire more ICE agents, okay? To all the Negroes out there that are always boo-hoo, whining, crying about lacking opportunity and resources, here's your opportunity, right? These are jobs, right? These are damn good government jobs. You might want to sign up, right? You might want to sign up if you're one of these people that's struggling to find out, you know, what you want to do, or you boo-hoo, whining, crying about a white man. Sign up to be an ICE agent, right? There's your opportunity right there. Take advantage of that government money, okay? And also, top of that, the tax-free overtime, right? I'm just saying. So, with that being said, liberals are upset. They're really mad at Dean Cain for declaring that he is joining ICE, okay? They are boo-hoo, whining, and crying as per the usual. Take a look.
Hey, everybody. Dean Cain here. And for those who don't know, I am a sworn law enforcement officer as well as being a filmmaker. I felt it was important to join with our first responders to help secure the safety of all Americans, not just talk about it. So I joined up. And here's your opportunity to join ICE.
What are you going to be doing at ICE?
I'm actually a deputy sheriff, a sworn deputy sheriff, and a reserve police officer. Now I've spoken with some officials over at ICE, and I will be sworn in as an ICE agent ASAP.
Are you going to be hopping out of ICE vans and apprehending guys?
I will do whatever Director Lyons wants me to do.
Dean Cain, born Dean Tanaka, is officially joining ICE. Yes, that Dean Cain, the 90s Superman, the guy who used to save people on TV, and now is going to villainize them in real life.
And I will be sworn in as an ICE agent ASAP.
Which is awfully ironic, because Dean Cain, Dean Tanaka, is part Japanese, which means back in the 1940s, the US government could have tossed Dean's family into Japanese internment camps. No trial, no charges, just gone. Imagine surviving generations of discrimination only to sign up with the same kind of system that your own family would have been trapped in. I guess Deanie forgot his family history and needed a little attention after aging out of Hollywood relevance. What a big, strong patriot. It turns out, Harvey Dent was right.
You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
This man really thinks he's being a hero. Dean Cain, best known for playing Superman in the 90s, is going all rah-rah for saying, hey, I'm joining and you should too, which is clearly going to cause some controversy. But let me tell you what's clenching my lips. This man was born Dean George Tanaka. Tanaka. The man is half Japanese or has Japanese ancestry. He's got an older brother named Roger, named after their father, Roger Tanaka. His mother and his biological father broke up when he was very little. Of his father, Roger Tanaka, he has said, he's not the type of man I want to be. He was unfaithful to my mother and not a great father. His mom wanted to be an actress. They moved to LA. There, she met and married a director named Christopher Kane. So this is where Dean got his last name. He grew up in Malibu, went to Samo High. What I'm trying to tell you is that he grew up in LA, which is diverse. He went to Princeton, where he was dating Brooke Shields. He played football there, got injured. CTE, you tell me. He's talked openly about it. Random fun fact, Brooke lost her virginity to Dean in college. Mr. Tanaka, when you publicly advocate for and encourage everyone to sign up, my friend, I think you've lost the plot, okay? Here is the historical context. World War II. Over 120,000 Japanese people were forcibly removed from their homes and put into internment camps. About 70% of these people, we're talking over half of them, were U.S. citizens. They were regular people going about their daily lives and round up by the U.S. government because of their ethnicity. Am I saying it's the exact same thing? No, but the raids and detentions based on racial profiling are eerily similar. Hey, Dean, you're half Japanese, so if you were walking around 83 years ago, they would have locked you up in the internment camp too. You could have also played football with your own kind within the camp grounds. Here's a man whose own bloodline survived one of America's many racial injustices, yet he's encouraging people to sign up for, which feels dystopian. Make it make sense.
Nerve of Dean Cain, who is undoubtedly the shittiest Superman actor on the fucking planet, to make a video bragging about how he's joined up with ICE with a picture of Christopher Reeves and his Superman theme playing in the background while he shills about how Americans need to consider joining up with him and the rest of the Gravy SEALs to chase those sweet, sweet benefits and those yummy, yummy signing bonuses is fucking absurd. All it costs is your goddamn soul. In case you didn't know, Dean Cain isn't his birth name. He was born Dean Tanaka. His father is of Japanese descent, and Dean Cain himself has talked several times about how his family were put in internment camps. So I'd like to ask you, is the Kool-Aid laced with fucking kryptonite? Just so you know, Dean, you soulless sack of shit, you were garbage as Superman, and everybody thought so. So you can do us all a favor, get fucked, and you and Kevin Sorbo can enjoy your stay on the list of 90s D-list celebrities whose mouths are consistently full of Trump's fucking shoe polish.
Damn, how you go from playing Superman in the 90s to being a voluntary ICE agent? That is beyond pathetic, bro. Your life is that pathetic that you want to round up black and brown people to feed your racist ego? That's crazy. That's crazy. If you're not able to get work after starring as Superman, brother, you're the problem, not Hollywood.
Yeah, so you see that, you heard that, okay? Liberals are doing what they always do, which is to tell a so-called minority, or at least in this case of Dean Cain, he seems to be, I don't know, half minority, right? He has Japanese ancestry, right? And because he has Japanese ancestry, that is supposed to determine his political beliefs, whether or not he agrees or disagrees with the mass deportations. That is the argument from liberals, okay? Because they're basically saying that as a Japanese individual or somebody of Japanese descent, you should be ashamed of yourself for supporting ICE, because back in the day, they would have round you up and put you in an internment camp, right, during World War II. This is the argument that liberals make. It's the exact same argument they make when it comes to black folks, right, and keeping black people from becoming Republicans or conservatives or supporting Trump, because they basically argue that, well, these people are racist and your ancestors were slaves, so therefore you can't support these racist people, right? That is the argument that they make, and they're doing the exact same thing here with this Hollywood actor. But, you know, hey, I think that we live in a time, culturally speaking, where, you know, these celebrities are not afraid to come out against the mob, right? And I think this actor coming out and saying that he's joining ICE really does show you how the culture is shifting, okay, and that the tides are turning and that we're winning, right? When people come out and they are unashamed about signing up for federal law enforcement, right? A position that right now is under attack, right? You have individuals that are attacking ICE agents, okay, trying to kill them, trying to murder them because of the fact they're doing their jobs, right? And some liberals refuse to acknowledge the reality of what's happening to ICE. And that's what we have to talk about here today, okay, as this CNN panel is going to discuss the reactions to this actor joining ICE, and I want to get into it. So without further ado, let's roll the clip.
You know what I'm going to say? You know what I'm going to say is the one thing that will absolutely change the dynamic of the situation is Superman. Listen to Dean Cain, who at one point played Superman, the TV version, saying he's joining ICE.
I will be sworn in as an ICE agent ASAP. So they'll have 80,001 recruits for their 10,000 positions.
Well, they can't have a better guy than Dean Cain. Are you going to be hopping out of ICE fans and apprehending guys?
I will do whatever Director Lyons wants me to do. If that's what it takes, absolutely.
With a cape on. There's a massive amount of recruitment going on because they now have a huge amount of money to hire new ICE
in the
agents.
Superman community.
And so,
I mean, that's Dean.
But I'm just telling you, like,
he's effectively going to be an honorary sheriff.
But having someone like that out touting it, talking about, hey, this is a thing you can do for your government. This is public service. It's going to help them recruit, and they have a bunch of people to recruit.
Yeah, and that's the whole point, right? The whole point is to help recruit and to get more people to sign up for this job. I mean, they're doing a good job of getting military recruits. I believe that military recruitment is on the up and up under Pete Hegseth and President Trump. So, yeah, this stuff matters, right? I think that changing the narrative around law enforcement is an important part of establishing law and order in this country once again, whether it be at the federal level or the local level. One of the reasons why a lot of these liberal cities are struggling so much with crime is because nobody wants to be a police officer, right? It's a thankless job, right? Everybody hates cops. And, you know, that mentality, I think, really has discouraged people from signing up to become law enforcement officers. And that needs to change, right? And that is one of the things that I like that I'm seeing from the Trump administration is the language around law enforcement, at least coming from the federal government, is changing. And that is a big deal to me because, again, having strong law enforcement, having people who want to be police officers, who want to be ICE agents, who want to join the military, it is essential for the security of this country, right? So, yeah, I mean, I think that's what a lot of this is. This really is about promotion and recruiting more so than anything. And I think that the Trump administration has done an amazing job at that, at least when it comes to the military. We're going to see what happens with these ICE agents. But, again, they're handing out money left and right for people to become ICE agents. Again, people should seriously consider signing up. Again, if you're one of these people that's kind of lost in the sauce, you're kind of stuck, you know, you're a young man, right? You want some direction in life. Here you go. Here's your opportunity.
It's not 95. Nobody gives a Sam hell what Dean Cain
You
does.
may not, but in the conservative, you don't, but in the conservative community,
Dean ain't worked in a while. Dean needs the 50,000. That's what got Dean off the couch. Dean ain't worked in a while. Dean gonna take that money and buy some crypto with it. Dean needs the 50. That's what Dean is on.
You don't think this is serious, Dean Cain?
Look, I think it's like you said, I'm getting sworn in, right? When you talk about getting sworn in, he's not really going to be an ICE, right? He's going to go on some ICE raids. He'll be, an honorary member, et cetera. But look, but Scott's right. Look, there is a real money to recruit ICE agents. Let's hope that means that the quality is going to continue to go up.
But that's the point, right? Do we know for sure they're expanding these ages, letting in people that may not have been let before? Do you feel like the standards are there?
Well, I hope they are. I mean, look, always with law enforcement.
Well, at this point, you need bodies, right? I mean, more so than anything, that's why you have a supervisor for, right? Hopefully, the quality of the supervision is good, right? Therefore, again, at this point, what you really need are bodies. You need people out there in the streets rounding up these illegals, okay? You need just more people. You need more manpower more so than anything.
You hope that the standards are higher, right? The better departments have the higher standards.
I will just say Republicans right now are trying to recruit and give bonuses to people who want to serve in ICE. And Democrats right now and people on the left are encouraging violence against people who want to serve in ICE.
They are?
And are putting them in harm's way every day.
How
so
exactly?
The two parties and how they're treating ICE agents right now, I think Republicans embracing recruitment of ICE and Democrats encouraging maybe violence.
So we're just going to make a declarative statement like that without providing a single shred of evidence.
You have not seen the myriad stories of ICE agents.
Okay,
Democrats every day are calling them the Gestapo.
No.
Do you think that helps or hurts?
Well, they do act like Gestapo when
now
they're showing up.
Now you're doing
well, they are.
I
they're just showing up
in
Penske trucks.
Do you condone the violence?
Home Depot. I don't want my tax dollars going to that garbage, okay? Those people do not deserve to be treated that way simply because they might be undocumented.
Do the ICE agents deserve to be having violent acts committed, rocks thrown at them?
No, they
people
don't.
Trying to
they don't.
Kill
and
them?
those people who do that get arrested, and they should be
And
arrested.
why don't they
that's
doing that?
needed.
Because they've been told the ICE agents are
Have you
Gestapo.
considered the fact that in a city like Los Angeles that has a massive immigrant community, when they see their mothers or fathers or family members rounded up, that leads to a lot of rage, and they retaliate. I'm not saying they should. That is criminal. They should not assault a police officer. Let me just tell you something. Someone messes with my family, I get violent. Okay, that's how I feel about family.
Good to know.
I protect family. So don't be surprised when people feel angry when they feel that there's a bunch of feds in their city invading their city,
There's a violent streak
going
in the country
after
right
people
now
who are just day laborers that are Home Depot parking lots.
Wow. That's what I got to say for the most part. Just wow. This is why, again, I feel like I could never vote for a Democrat or a liberal or a progressive to lead me anywhere because they're too soft-hearted, right? I mean, that's where this is coming from. That's exactly where this is coming from. Clearly, Democrats are encouraging violence against ICE because they're comparing ICE to Gestapo, right? They are saying that illegal immigrants are being thrown in internment camps, concentration camps, right? They're comparing the ICE detention facilities to Nazi camps, right? That's what they're doing, okay? Yes, that is encouraging violence. I don't know why Anna Kasparian doesn't understand that, right? But that's what's happening. It's the same way they encourage violence against Teslas, right? When Elon was public enemy number 2, right, behind President Trump, Democrats, again, were calling him a Nazi, okay? This type of stuff, this type of hyperbolic rhetoric leads to lunatics becoming radicalized, and then they do things like they firebomb Teslas, they shoot up dealerships, they key people cars, they vandalize, right? They stalk people. Yeah, that is what happens as a result of the rhetoric from the Democrat Party. So to sit here on national television and say, how is it that Democrats are encouraging violence against ICE? Again, it's a very wow moment for me, right? It's a very wow moment. It's like, come on, like, you don't understand that comparing ICE to Gestapo is radicalizing people? Like, come on now. Also, on top of that, the failure to acknowledge the fact that if you're upset with ICE being in the cities, right, and quote unquote rounding up people like Gestapo, then you should be upset with the fact that these cities are sanctuary cities, because Tom Homan said time and time again that if these cities cooperate, they don't have to worry about this. If they allow ICE in the jails, if they cooperate with ICE, then they don't have to go into neighborhoods. They don't have to go into Home Depots. They don't have to go to the Taco Bells, right? Or the Salsaritas or Chipotle's or whatever, right? I don't know where the illegals hang out. I'm just saying they don't have to do it if the sanctuary cities cooperate. So the reason why they're in these neighborhoods, the reason why they're in these parks, the reason why they're rounding up these individuals is, one, because we got to enforce the law, right? Whether you like it or not, we got to enforce the law. But two, is because the local law enforcement, these sanctuary cities that are run by Democrats, are not cooperating with ICE. So they're forcing ICE to have to go into these neighborhoods in order to do their jobs. Okay? So again, for all these people that are so mad and so disgusted by what ICE is doing, pointing the finger at the Democrats, at Democrat leadership, at the sanctuary city policies, because that is the reason why they're doing what they got to do.
Dangerous talk, though, with regard to law enforcement in
No,
general. Because you can make that argument about
please.
anything with law enforcement, which is,
Okay.
all right, so law enforcement came in, they arrested someone at my house, they got the wrong person, and I am mad, and as a result, I'm going to now
get to be
go.
rageful?
Well, no, I mean, look, you can be mad.
It leads to unrest. It leads to a ton of
No,
unrest.
it's more than that. They are.
Yeah, but it's not right? They can be mad, they can be upset, but that doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it okay. And I'm not saying that she's saying that it makes it okay, but it almost sounds like she's sympathizing, right, with the people who get mad and upset when the federal government enforces the law, right? That's what they're mad and upset. They're mad and upset about the federal government enforcing the law, okay? And them getting mad and upset about the federal government enforcing the law and then committing acts of violence in response, again, it's just not okay. There's no way to justify that, and you shouldn't even really be trying to sympathize with it, because, again, it's not like they're mad at ICE, I don't know, randomly killing somebody, right, or actually doing something wrong. No, they're just doing their jobs. They're enforcing federal law. But again, a lot of these people, they don't believe that these illegals should be deported, right? They don't believe that illegals who come over here and they're just working, okay, they aren't committing any violent crimes, they don't believe they should be deported, which in my opinion, I just think is not the right attitude, because when you start handing out exceptions. Well, if you're over here working, you haven't committed any crimes, then you can stay. What does that incentivize? It incentivizes more people to come. That's what people got to understand. This is about incentives. What you're seeing from ICE is about discouraging more people from coming into this country. It's about encouraging people to leave this country because we don't need all these people here. We don't need them. So yes, these tactics are about discouraging people from coming here and encouraging people who are here to leave if they don't belong here. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's why leadership should be doing, right? That's called leadership, right? I don't want a leader who's not willing to do controversial things. Because when you let millions and millions and millions of illegals into the country, you're not going to get them out going through the process that a lot of these leftists want to see, right? Which is for illegals to get an unlimited amount of appeals. They get an unlimited amount of opportunities, arguments to make in order to stay here, right? That's what they want. They want these illegals to have 4 and 5 and 6 appeals before they can say that the illegals got due process. And even if they got all these appeals, the Democrats will still say, well, they didn't get enough due process. Therefore, the Trump administration, they're violating the Constitution by deporting illegals, by enforcing the law. That's where we're at right now. And I just wish these leftists would just be honest about what they really want. They want illegals to be able to just come in the country and stay. That's it. You believe they should be here. You believe they have a right to be here. And that's okay if you believe that, but you're wrong, right? Your belief is wrong. We have to have borders, okay?
Physically attacking.
And by the way,
there's an 800% increase in attacks on ICE agents.
Van, last word that we're going to go to break.
You guys, I can't do the holier than thou thing. The first story we did.
Yeah, we don't care about what this dude has to say, right? So with that being said, again, shout out to this actor, okay, for trying to inspire people to become ICE officers. I think that this is a great thing. I think this is a good thing that we should praise in this country. When you have actors come out and set good examples for young people, right? In regards to career choices and things like that. So yeah, I think this is awesome. I think this is amazing. And the fact that liberals are upset really shows you that, yeah, this is a great thing, right? It's a great thing that liberals are upset about this. I don't understand why they're so upset if this guy is so washed up, right? He's so washed up. He's so broke. If he doesn't have any influence, what are they mad about? Why do they care so much? Tells you everything you need to know. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.